Sure, yes, sir. What's it about, brother? Felony one? All right. Felony one. Take it. We need to move. I'm gonna walk you back with him, okay? Is that all right?
Something happens, I want you to be safe. All right? Okay. All right.
Okay, so I can go ahead and call a boss when I get.
There he is.
All right, I'm ready, Isaiah.
Okay. Okay, first of all, let us get your full name and spell it for us.
Rob, F-R-E-Y-E-R.
And your title.
Chief Prosecutor, Montgomery County District Attorney's Office.
Rob, tell us what happened here at Sisney's Auto Service.
The members of the Montgomery County Auto Theft Task Force executed a third-degree felony warrant in regards to a vehicle sale that the defendant had put online representing a 1969 Camaro as being what is known in the industry as a Bickle-built vehicle. Relying upon those things, the victim in this case forwarded or wired $29,000 to this defendant and began to get suspicious and curious as to why this deal was not going down correctly. He independently had this vehicle appraised and learned, after of course he had parted with his money, that the representations that this defendant had made both orally and in the advertisement were materially false. So although the complainant did at the beginning willingly part with his money, he did so in reliance upon the things, the misrepresentations that this defendant told him. Basically, that's basically what it is, and that this defendant has a history, a very lengthy history with the Better Business Bureau and with other people, Kingwood Underground, of other individuals who are not very satisfied, to say the least, about this defendant's business practices. He currently is charged with forging a vehicle title, all right, it's what's known as a 130U form, as well as another theft case for an individual that paid him, I think, about $3,800 to install a new engine in a vehicle, which turned out to be false. So this is the kind of conduct that people in this community do not deserve to be a part of. And if individuals are lying to good customers, good people, then if we can prove our cases in court, then we're going to put a stop to it.
Do we foresee any more additional charges against him?
I can't comment on that, Isaiah. There are other things in the works in regards to this defendant, but it's going to involve a careful review and consideration, talking to other folks that may come forward,
Okay, go ahead.
We would encourage anybody that has had a negative dealing or an unhappy dealing with this individual that has just been arrested, Richard Sisney here in Porter, that they contact Alton Neely, Neely, at the Montgomery County Auto Theft Task Force, and he can be reached at 936-538-7736.
Does the investigation tentatively end here now with his arrest, or do you go through the shop? Do you check things out to see if there are other questionable items?
I believe they're going to perform an administrative search to follow up on vehicle identification numbers, records, and other things like that. And as part of their duties, they're statutorily, the law allows them to do that. So I don't know what they find. Our number one objective today was to get this defendant into custody. We had a judge sign a warrant 2 days ago for the third-degree offense of theft between $20,000 and $100,000. So we will not tolerate this in Montgomery County, period.
Rob, he didn't act surprised or anything else at this. Did he think,
Well, you know, Scott, we were all there. We saw how he reacted, and you know, he's quite accustomed in his business practice here to fielding many complaints from very dissatisfied customers. So, you know.
what can you suggest someone going online and a vehicle like this, finding a vehicle like this, as far as checking out for, like you say, parting with their money?
I mean, just there's all sorts of things you can do. Talk to people in the industry. I guess, you know, when you see people get ripped off over the internet or over the phone, people are not given the opportunity to check this guy's work or to follow up on what this guy says in person, which would be something that people ought to do before they part with their money. And I feel bad for anybody that's lost money to this guy. They didn't sign up for that.
Where was the alleged victim located?
The alleged victim is located in Canada.
Canada, okay.
British Columbia, Canada. A number of things that were selling points by this man, Richard Sisney, for the victim in this case, were things that the victim relied upon to decide to part with a considerable amount of money. So, and as you see in the complaint that I gave you all a copy to, the money was wired by the defendant at the defendant's or by the complainant, by the victim, to the defendant's wife's bank account, and that's laid out in the arrest warrant that I gave you all. I'm fully aware that the defendant's misrepresentations as this car is being what's known as a Bickle-built car, B-I-C-K-L-E. There's an individual named Jerry Bickle who is a very well-known expert in the construction and in the maintenance, construction, and refurbishing of old antique cars. So.
But this theft case is definitely not the end.
Well, I mean, we know it may not be. That may depend on cooperation from folks out there that have had negative dealings with this guy. If anybody has parted with their money and not got what they thought they were getting, then we would love to hear from them. Well, we've gone back and seen that he has had other people complaining about his business practices going back 20 years. So our investigation is focused, obviously, with cases that are within the statute of limitations, which I believe is 5 years. So that's where our primary focus is. However, we want to hear from anybody that has ever dealt with this individual, with this company, and who walked away upset, violated, dissatisfied, whatever. We'd love to hear from them.
Got it. Thank you, sir.